everybody, and welcome to the Marina Show. I missed you so much. It's been an entire season that's gone by, and I haven't seen you. As you can see, it's winter time in Canada. I'm wearing boots. It's probably still summertime wherever you are. I missed you a lot. I'm Marina from the Marina Show, and I know you missed me because I'm the best. Speaking of the best, I brought the best woman I know to be a guest on this show. I'd like to introduce you all to the amazing Dorcas. Hello, Dorcas.
Hi, Marina.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm so happy that you're on the show. I'm just going to give you a brief introduction. This is one of the most phenomenal women in my life. I asked her, handpicked her personally to be on the show, like most of my guests, because I just wanted to show her to the world through the Marina Show. Hopefully the world is watching the Marina Show, if you know what I'm saying. So here we go. Hello, Dorcas.
Hello, Marina.
How are you today?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm okay. I understand that I did tell you it was going to be, well, I didn't really tell you, but you understood it was going to be an audio show.
I thought so, yes.
But it's okay. You're beautiful enough to be on television.
Oh, thank you very much.
I want my fans to know, not my fans, my audience, to know that I think Dorcas is an amazing person because she's beautiful inside out, and that is what we are called to be. Are you embarrassed by the compliments I keep throwing at you?
Very, very embarrassed. You're flattering me way too much.
It's all true. I don't usually flatter people, as you can see from my show. So, Dorcas, I'm going to ask you a few questions about your life, and then we're going to get started and see where we go.
Sure.
So, you tell me, how did you meet me?
We met first year university, if I remember very well, in front of the classroom before tutorial, and we were unsure if we were going to have class because we were first years freshmen. And we started talking, and we realized we were both part of student council in high school. We also realized that our fathers were both involved with the church, and we kind of stuck together from there, and now I just can't get rid of you.
Oh, I totally understand. Dorcas, it's been a pleasure to meet you. I always think people come into my life for a reason, usually to be on the Marina Show, but that's okay. So, Dorcas, why do you think I brought you onto the show?
If it was what you told me about, there was positive thinking, positive energy, I guess the way I decide to live my life.
Okay, so exactly. Dorcas lives her life in a way that's different than anybody else that I know. It's based on a very simple principle, which is positive thinking and positive energy. And you guys hear these words all the time, and it's kind of cliche, but I've actually met somebody that lives that way. And it's not enough in-your-face kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy, I'm so positive, I love life, about everything type of positive. It's a gentle, calm, genuine kind of positive, and I want her to show it to the world. So Dorcas, why don't we start off by you telling me how you decided to come about this, how it came about in your life?
Yeah. I think around second year university, I was going through a little bit of a rough patch. Family, life in general, just not easy. And it's so easy to get into a cycle of being negative and down on yourself and just being upset every day. And I spoke with a friend, and she was just like, you know, why don't you decide to look at life in just more of a positive angle? And I kind of got into that and just making the best out of every situation. So I kind of live my life with this positive thinking energy. So if I see anything that's not going very well, I decide to look at it from a different angle and make sure that I put a positive spin to it.
That's amazing. So that's
really
basically
simple.
what it is. It's a very simple concept. And so you decided to do this. So can you give me an example of a situation that you can see from two sides?
Of course. I mean, as a student, I'm a student, you're a student. Just in general, I mean, you get your marks. They may not be exactly what you want. You
can say that again.
You can take two approaches to it. You can beat yourself up for it for something that has already happened, or you can take the approach that next time you'll either do better or you will just accept the mark and move on, because at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. There are bigger issues to deal with, and your mark will be there, and we will move on, and you'll be fine.
That's a very good point. Actually, speaking of that point, Dorcas, I remember in our undergraduate careers, we were both in criminology. I remember walking into an exam, and I'm not this calm, cool Marina Show person before an exam. I was freaking out. I was like, I'm so nervous. Ah! And I was just like freaking out. And I remember what you said to me. It was a little offensive, but in retrospect, I forgive you. You were just like this. You looked at me, and you were like, Marina, that is negative energy, and I don't want it anywhere near me. So what's that about? What's that negative energy?
It's again very simple. At the end of the day, you were making me nervous and upset, and I didn't need to be nervous, so I did not need your energy near me. I know I was being a little bit rude, but you surround yourself by people who are like-minded because they will influence the way you think. At that specific time, I needed to be in the zone. It was time to take my exam, and you were just kind of a mess. I don't want to say that, but a little bit of a wreck, and I didn't need it. So I needed you to just kind of just step away. And I actually remember there's a song I always used to listen to before I had an exam. And
it's called Relax.
It's called Relax.
You'd be like, relax.
And you'd make fun of me for it, but it actually genuinely helped because it would calm me down and put me in the right mind frame to write my exams, and that's something I did every exam. And it was kind of like a ritual, but it was more just to get me in the right mind frame and to kind of block out other people, you being one of them, because most people are pretty hectic before an exam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really am. Dorcas, there's actually, speaking of that, that was me in undergrad, and you can imagine the pressure of law school. I'm the same way before exams, and maybe you can help me through that, because I think that's something that a lot of youth struggle with, which is exam anxiety, because there's a lot of pressure to do well. Mm-hmm. Something personal about me is that I have some issues with my digestive system before exams. You know, things are coming out of places they shouldn't. I'm really nervous. I cannot keep calm, and I really, really think that it affects my performance. Mm-hmm. So what can you suggest for me based on what you've said about positive energy? What's a way for me to look at it for my next exam to literally calm me down?
Coming from my perspective, I am Christian, so I believe in the power of positive energy and prayer. So the two together, I think, will make you prepared. If you have prepared for your exam, as you should be, no preparing?
Sometimes I can't.
Oh, but sometimes you should.
Okay.
Okay, so let's assume that you have had time to prepare, maybe not to the best extent, okay?
To my best.
Okay, to your best of your ability. Go into it then with that mindset. I am prepared to the best of my ability, so I can perform to the best that I can. I cannot do any better than I can. And at the end of that day, I think coupled with a prayer to have God help you where you cannot, and those two together, you should do pretty well. I mean, your mark may not be what it is, but you can do what you can with the strength that you have, and that's all you can do.
That's all you can do. All you can do is your best, which is sometimes hard for us to estimate and to accept. Absolutely. And I will try my best, Dorcas.
I mean, I hope so. I hope so.
But I really do remember that time. And something that I've learned from you is, regardless of what mindset, the result will be the same. Mm-hmm. So let's take that position where we were both writing that exam in that criminology class. It was called punishment, I remember. And I used to call it the punishment of Marina because it was so difficult, this class. I was terrible at multiple choice. So I decided to take the short answer exam. I remember. I was freaking out. So then what happened was the professor was like, who wants to take the short answer? And I put up my hand. I was one of the only 2 out of 400 people that was going to take the short answer exam.
Mistake.
So they came up to me with the short, I was sitting next to my beloved friend, Dorcas. They came up to me with the short answer exam. The TA put it on my table. I looked down at it. I looked at the 7 questions. I didn't have a single answer for any of them. Not one answer. I turned to Dorcas and I said, I cannot answer this exam. I remember, because she was so calm and so positive, she just turned to me and said, Marina, let me handle this. I had lost it. I was completely like Jello at this point. Like, my limbs were not in control with my bodily functions. She's like, okay. She puts her hand up. She goes to the TA. She's like, I don't need this. And I'm like, what? She's like, please give me a multiple choice exam right now. And the TA's like, okay. The TA was scared of Dorcas because she was so calm and firm. She's like, give me the multiple choice exam. The TA's like, I thought she wanted to write short answers. She said, I want the multiple choice. She proceeded to take the multiple choice, put it down in front of me, and I was like, Dorcas. She's like, yes, Marina. Like, my pencil isn't sharpened. I don't have a pencil. She's like, I'm going to sharpen it for you. I'm like, the exam is about to start in like a minute. She's like, that's fine. I will go downstairs and sharpen the pencil for you. She goes downstairs and sharpens it, comes back up, and she's like, there you go, Marina, start your exam now. And it was just such a different perspective. So she came there, she had listened to her music, she was calm, she was relaxed, she was functional. She knew how to think. I, on the other hand, my stress was just terrible. And one of my friends recently told me that stress is like trying to solve an algebraic equation by chewing bubble gum. The two things are completely unrelated, and they will not help you at all.
I agree.
And I really still remember that day, and that mark from that exam was the mark I needed to get into law school. And I really thank you for the way that you acted under those really intense circumstances.
I had no idea. I actually had no idea that was kind of involved in law school. But yeah, in general, I mean, your stress is not going to help you get anywhere. And I remember there's just like one quote that like always kind of pops in my head, like the reflection, like your mind is a reflection of how you see the world. So depending on your mindset is the world you'll see. Some people see life from a different perspective. It's based on what you have going on in your mind. So if you see situations and things that you can overcome, honestly, you can do it. Like it's just having that faith and that knowing that you can get through and you will get through and it will be a positive thing that's going to make you get through. You need that encouragement on the inside. Like it's so easy to fall into that slump of negativity and having negative people around you, but just making sure that your head is in the right space, you can really make sure like your life changes.
Okay, Dorcas, the last thing I want to ask you, you talked a little bit about negativity and like you cleared me out when I was negative and I'm a pretty positive person and I actually coming to think about it right now, I respect that decision that you made. How do you realize when someone that you want or someone is that negative and that you need to put aside for that minute?
It's not easy because a lot of the times the people that are not good for you are sometimes the people that are closest to you.
Okay.
It's people that are not adding to your situation. If you have somebody in your life who is not adding, immediately take them out. Like, it sounds very harsh, but if someone is not adding any sort of value to your life, they are not necessary for you to be there. If they're not adding, they're automatically subtracting. That's plain and simple.
Wait, let's say that again. There's certain nuggets of quotes that I like to say on the Marina Show. If they are not adding, then they are subtracting.
That's exactly right.
That's such an amazing way to live your life. And we're actually going to stop on that notion before we start the next segment. I want you to tune in so you can see it with the amazing Dorcas. If you are not adding, you are subtracting. And we're going to touch on that next notion next time on The Marina Show.